This is absolutely hilarious. Am I the only person that like thinks this is hilarious? I'm trying to, is this the only time we've ever seen a situation like this happen? Where a player has been suspended, not for a game, for a half. She's suspended for a half. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. She is suspended for a half a basketball game.
The Chicago Sky locker room has officially hit its breaking point, and Angel Reese has crossed a line her own teammates won't ignore anymore. What began as simple frustration over a disappointing season has now exploded into a full-blown meltdown, forcing the franchise into a corner where drastic action against their so-called star is no longer optional. It's inevitable.
According to the report, Reese said she doesn't believe her teammates Rachel Banham or Haley Van Lith are capable of leading a playoff team. Guard Ariel Atkins is another player on the Sky's roster with WNBA championship experience. Tyler Marsh said, "We are aware of it." What Angel Reese said, "We're addressing it in-house as currently speaking. That's where we'll stay right now."
The woman who once declared herself on Caitlin Clark's level has now become the cautionary tale of what happens when ego eclipses teamwork and loud public boasts shatter private relationships.
Did tell Front Office Sports the entire team has seen Reese's comments and they're basically unhappy with the direct attacks. They are even planning a team meeting to talk about it. We'll read you some of the excerpts, which does kind of not make her team look good. One of which say, "We can't rely on Courtney," that's Courtney Vandersloot, "to come back at the age that she's at. I know she'll be a great asset for us, but we can't rely on that. We need someone probably a little younger with some experience, somebody who's been playing the game and is willing to compete for a championship and has done it before."
Angel Reese's latest controversy isn't just about poor play. It's about character, leadership, and the fundamental respect teammates owe one another. In what can only be described as a spectacular act of self-sabotage, Reese went public with comments so damaging that the organization had no choice but to suspend her for statements deemed harmful to the team. But the suspension was only the spark. What followed was a full-scale internal revolt that has left Reese's future in Chicago hanging by the thinnest thread imaginable.
Also, you guys remember the story. Angel Reese calling out her teammates, calling out the front office. You're a bum, you're a bum, you're a bum. You're a bum, yeah. You ladies won't do it for me. Coach Marsh, can you please coach harder? Yeah, Angel Reese. 48 hours later, already backtracking on those statements, already moonwalking like Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, he'd probably be proud how quickly Angel Reese is moonwalking from the comments she made, and I have an exclusive.
The breaking point came when Reese told the Chicago Tribune that Chicago needs great players, and that she won't settle for what we did this year. To some, those words might sound like competitive fire, but to her teammates they landed like a dagger. A public proclamation that none of them were good enough to share the court with her. It wasn't motivation. It was betrayal.
Some of the other stuff that she said was also pretty bad. Like, I'm not settling for the same shit we did this year. We have to get good players. We have to get great players. That's a non-negotiable for me. I am willing and wanting to play with the best. And however I can help to get the best here, that's what I'm going to do this offseason. So it's going to be very, very important this offseason to make sure that we attract the best of the best, because we can't settle for what we have this year. So her saying we can't settle for what we have this year, that is basically like a slap in the face to Becca Allen. That is a slap in the face to Rachel Banham. That is a slap in the face to Ariel Atkins.
Rachel Banham, a veteran guard who has poured everything into this franchise, was blindsided by Reese's comments. And Ariel Atkins, who had defended Reese through every controversy and every flare-up, finally hit her breaking point. Even her most loyal supporters couldn't justify this one.
Chicago Sky values safety, respect, and well-being of every player. We're committed to accountability so our players can stay focused on playing basketball. Because of statements made by Angel Reese during league-mandated media, I've never seen this before, but she is getting suspended for a half. Not a game. Not a game. One half. One half she is getting suspended for. That is absolutely hilarious.
If you are enjoying, please subscribe. The great players comment wasn't some harmless note about roster upgrades. It was a direct shot at the very teammates who fought beside her through one of the toughest seasons in franchise history. Reese didn't just critique the team, she named names. She openly questioned whether Rachel Banham or Hailey Van Lith were capable of leading a playoff run. And she dismissed 36-year-old Courtney Vandersloot outright, claiming the team couldn't rely on someone at the age she's at, and needed someone younger with more experience. These weren't strategic conversations meant for the locker room or front office. These were public executions dressed up as basketball analysis, and her teammates felt every blow.
To be here for the rest of my career, but if things don't pan out, obviously I might have to move in a different direction and do what's best for me. And listen, I totally get that, because if you are somebody with a lot of star power, you don't want your career just like rotting away in a place, especially this guy, the GM, Jeff Pagliocca. He absolutely sold this guy's future. He traded away draft picks for this like win now mentality, and who he drafted. Now, I don't want to speak bad about Hailey Van Lith, but she has not had a mentor to actually mentor her to be any proper type of point guard. So she's kind of been flying in the dark. She hasn't exactly proven her worth in the
The most damning part of Reese's public comments wasn't just what she said, it was the way she said it. While Caitlin Clark spent her rookie season battling physical play, hostile arenas, and non-stop scrutiny, all while lifting her team and organization to new heights, Reese chose the opposite route. Clark elevated everyone around her in the face of adversity. Reese, at the first sign of internal struggle, threw her own teammates under the bus, including the very people who had supported her through every controversy and every rough stretch. The contrast couldn't be more brutal. One player leads through chaos. The other creates it.
This is the reason I have spent the last few years referring to the WNBA as a dump. This is the reason I don't feel bad when I refer to the WNBA as a toxic turd. Not only have they damn near ruined their opportunity with Caitlin Clark, the dump diver they chose to support, the pretend basketball player they have spent the last 2 years begging you to support. They desperately want her to be accepted. They are desperate to make her a star. Not only has she been rejected by normal people, Angel Reese is now being rejected and potentially kicked off of her own team.
The reaction from her teammates was immediate and devastating. Multiple league sources confirmed that the entire Sky roster had already seen Reese's comments, and the mood inside the locker room was pure anger. A players-only meeting was called on the spot, not to rally around their so-called star, but to confront the damage she had done to team chemistry. In that meeting, Ariel Atkins, one of Reese's most loyal defenders through every controversy, finally snapped. She addressed Reese directly, making it unmistakably clear that her behavior had crossed a line no professional teammate should ever cross. Rachel Banham's response revealed just how deep the wounds went. "I think I just don't really care," she told the Chicago Sun-Times. "I'm so over all of this. If I was younger, it would have affected me more, but I'm grown and I just don't care." But that resignation spoke volumes. It wasn't about basketball. It was about betrayal. Banham had supported Reese, played alongside her, defended her, only to watch Reese publicly declare her inadequate. The veteran admitted she felt blindsided, making it painfully clear Reese hadn't just criticized the roster. She ambushed her own teammates without warning.